Yesterday I drove Marissa. Today I'm driving blindfold B93 RXT. And the reason why I named yesterday's van Marissa is because of the fact that because it was the most lowrider wheelchair Chrysler I've ever driven. And it just made out of nowhere I thought of, George Lopez's song, and I was thinking about how Marissa was the name of his daughter in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but that's that. Okay, so either way, so got another 6 to 11:30 shift, and altogether should be a good day. Okay, just like the van yesterday, the second row, oddly enough, doesn't have a third chair that was installed. But I am definitely, like I said yesterday, in favor of adding a booster seat. Not unless we could probably use that box for children. Who knows? But either way, just gonna disinfect everything. I got more than a half tank, so that should be enough to be able to, that should be enough for my shift, and likely the next driver will have to fill up on gas, but honestly, I just want to relax here at the lot and stuff. But yeah, let's get the day started. It's so weird because normally I would drive to the gas station. So I did let the supervisor know that it asks for an oil change and there's low window washer fluid and everything. And so basically I'm just gonna drive and just see how it goes and everything, because frankly the oil change thing is a recurrent thing, because we drive the vans all the time and everything. They don't have time to catch a breather. And the problem is with our newer vehicles is that they're more consumer based, mostly for areas where people would have a personal car. And yeah, it would be for driving a lot and everything, but at the same time, it wouldn't, they wouldn't, what's the word? They're not as durable as the Benz are. The Benz are like tanks. I love driving the Benz and everything compared to the Chryslers and stuff. Do I have anything against the Chryslers? Not really. There's just some things that I wish could be modified. First off, this is the thickest steering wheel that I've ever driven. Day one in a Chrysler, back when we were at the old lot, I was just surprised at how big this steering wheel is and everything. And don't get me it needs a it's a heated steering wheel nonsense and everything, because the same thing is in my truck, and mind you, it's a little bit thinner than this. Second, and I'm sure almost everyone that's driven a Chrysler Pacifica or Voyager in recent years can agree with this, is basically you have to, basically when it comes to the Chryslers, you have to basically drive in a way where it could be able to get some traction while at the same time not slipping on a puddle, which is the most annoying thing possible and everything. And which is very annoying. And one of the reasons why I would recommend the Chrysler as a family vehicle is because of the fact that, okay, there are certain cars where you could put it in, I got the, let me put on the parking brake before I do this. When you put it in drive and the doors automatically lock, and then when you put it in park, they unlock. I know with mine and Dad's trucks, this is a standard thing in Ford vehicles. I have a Ford Escape, Dad has a Ford Edge. Basically, when you go up to 4 miles an hour or whatever, that's when the doors lock. With the Chryslers, it depends on how much pressure you apply to the gas pedal, which makes absolutely no sense. To me, I feel like you have to learn some Mace Windu Vapod method when it comes to when it comes to driving and everything. And I'm sorry to like bring out a Star Wars reference and everything. Like, honestly, if I get married, I hope my wife gets familiar with a lot of my Star Wars references and everything. But yeah, let me finish setting up my office, and then we'll see how the day goes. All right, it's right now 10:03, and I got what I wanted. I was able to drop off a passenger inside Liberty State Park. And yeah, I'm right now just relaxing and everything. Like, I have basically 1 hour left, and you know, if I could be here for my last hour, then great. Like, seriously, if I could be here until 11:10 maybe, then, you know, I could just simply drive back to the lot and stuff. I could drive back to the lot and I could just relax, which, you know, the day has been good and everything. Like, you know, the passengers were cool. Traffic wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be at times and everything. And, you know, that's that. All I know is I do want to get out and stretch a little bit because, you know, I've been driving for a little while and everything. That's one thing I wanted to mention about. Like, I said that I wanted to talk about the recent postponement of congestion pricing and everything. And honestly, there are some transit advocates on YouTube that frankly, you know, are just, you know, just want to upload whatever content, whatever rant that they have that's just mainly just to receive views on YouTube. It's basically clickbait. Me, on the other hand, I just wanted to just simply say, hey, yeah, in a way, it kind of stinks that there will be a delay with regards to receiving the proper funding for the capital investment needed for the NTA. I mean, granted, that's just the money that's posted. Like, the reality is that they may need way more money than what was initially planned for congestion pricing. Because, let's face it, MTA is just going to keep asking for money. When, mind you, it could go into fixing some of the basic infrastructure, or at least retrofitting it. Like, one thing that would especially help is retrofitting the local all the buses, especially the express buses that we have on Staten Island, with electrical brakes as opposed to air brakes. So that way there is a less likelihood of drivers driving off and everything when, mind you, they clearly see someone running for the bus, because they're not doing it on purpose. Like I've been telling passengers, it's because of the air brake system and stuff. So that would be good. As far as the subways are concerned, the investment to have just all NTT equipment, to me, is just unnecessary. Whereas if you could just modify the subways, like, I prefer ramps over elevators, because like I've mentioned on Instagram, if you follow me at DJ__projects, basically I was able to say that with regards to ramps, if the power goes out, for instance, for whatever reason, and you have to evacuate, grandma and grandpa could roll their way out of danger, or if they're in a wheelchair and stuff. Mind you, you could basically go almost nowhere in an elevator. You're not as mobile and stuff. So, you know, ramps is a much better idea than elevators. Like, if there could be a greater emphasis on that as opposed to just installing a ramp everywhere, then it would work, because in the long run, you're not using as much power and everything. And the less power that's needed for certain things, the better. What else? Oh yeah, and also trying to go with all zero emission vehicles and everything in the MTA. While I'm not completely against that, right now it wouldn't be the best idea, only because of the fact that there's still some kinks to work out if you're going to choose either electric or, what I prefer, hydrogen fuel cells. Because the reason why I believe hydrogen fuel cell vehicles are better is that electric vehicles, don't get me wrong, they've come a long way, but it's like, what if you could have a vehicle that, you know, fuels up just as long as a a gas or diesel powered vehicle, but goes twice the range of an electric vehicle. That's exactly what fuel cell vehicles do. Now, MTA is testing them out. I just want MCI or Prevost to finally have a fuel cell commuter coach and everything. Like, MCI is more likely to introduce that soon, and I know MTA plans to test out the Vandal CX-45 IVE, but I want Prevost in particular to come up with a fuel cell variant of the X345 commuter. In fact, I believe that would be a very good option to be able to try and everything. I know I'm not going into much details right now. I may go into further details once I get back to the lot. I just want to check right now to see if I have any passengers. You'll see if I do by the next hard cut. Still no passengers. So I moved the van a little bit. Now I'm by these two school buses. Like, one from Thomas Built with a Chevy chassis. And then you got this Bluebird Vision. Now, admittedly, I'll admit, like, if I had a school bus company, I would definitely choose the Bluebird Vision. Like, honestly, the idea for the crayon bus in my first book, Raymond Waters' Imagination, I'm sorry I keep mentioning about it multiple times, but, you know, just trying to get as many people to buy it so that I don't have to come to work every day. Basically, and to pay the bills. The crayon bus was initially going to have a school bus look to it. Only because of the fact that I honestly wanted, like, you know, the headquarters for Imagination is Crayon Academy. So, you know, I was thinking, oh, what if you have, like, some creative looking school buses and everything that could, you know, be designed in a way to like look like it's buses towards that place and everything. And hence the crayon bus was born, and then later the crayon plane, although the crayon plane was initially going to be called Imagination Air, but I don't know, like, the crayon plane just stands out a little bit more. Alright, so yeah, right now I'm just relaxing, and again, like, if I'm here until 11, great. Okay, now I'm back at the lot. Not in the way that I planned. Like, when I was at Liberty State, I didn't lose the signal, but the app was insisting that I would go to a terminal, which, that was gangster, to be honest. I'm like, I've all the years that I've worked, for as long as I've been with the company, like, I've never seen the app actually suggest that, but I'm assuming it's just to make sure that certain drivers, because this has happened in the past where some have really taken for granted the fact that, you know, they could easily just relax at certain places while still getting paid and everything. Hey, like, I wasn't going to be at Liberty State indefinitely, but, you know, just wanted to just find an opportunity to just relax instead of just driving all day, because the fact is, once we're at the terminal, like, we get requests after requests, and, you know, like go here, go there. It's like, it's nonstop. So, you know, we need the opportunity to be able to rest and everything, because the thing is, as much as it would be nice to get paid while being on break and everything, I would say, like, at least 10 minutes of pay time while you're on break, right? Then that's not bad. In fact, now that I think about it, that would be a suggestion that I would definitely give to VIA. Like, at least a 10-minute break, paid break and everything per break, so that way you can at least rest and not worry about, like, not having money and everything. Because there's some like me that, you know, doesn't have the schedule or circumstances to be able to work full-time nonstop. And honestly, I won't have the prolonged morale to be able to do so. It would just be too much. It would be way too much to be able to do so. Oh, but yeah, that's that. Like, yeah. So at Liberty State Park, they like, I started driving, and then basically I did one more. I did basically my last line run I mean, my last shuttle run, I should say, and everything. Just one passenger that had to be picked up. It was a disabled passenger. Or I didn't want to sound petty, but I was like, please let them be in an actual wheelchair, and so that way it could take a little bit longer so that I could at least receive some more earnings. But of course that wasn't the case and everything, which, you know, fine. Like, so far it's just that one wheelchair passenger that I had from a few weeks ago when the first time I drove Rattlesnake. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, what I was mentioning earlier about congestion pricing, and I'm just thinking about in the long run, even if the MTA still receive money, would they uninstall the cameras? And if they don't, frankly, where would the money go to and stuff? Because one can make the argument that it's a continual investment that the MTA would continue to require, and not to mention it will require more money than it needs. Like, frankly, I hope some of the investments that's being required, some of the funding that's required, does not go. I hope like 90% of it doesn't go into the 2nd Avenue subway, because there are many lawmakers in certain parts of the country and parts of the world that will argue that the 2nd Avenue subway is one of the newest subways and it's one of the most expensive. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the stations are really nice and they're nice and quiet and everything, but it costs way more money than anyone frankly needs and everything. And mind you, you can have a much cheaper, you can have cheaper infrastructure for subways built at a lower price and everything. Like, you could be able to cover for a good chunk of a certain area, as opposed to how much the 2nd Avenue subway costs. And frankly, that's how much the public knows, because the reality is there's like some secret money that, you know, is also in place and everything. And I'm sorry for my word whiskers. I'm still trying to like process as to what to say next. But yeah, like there's a lot of things that needs to be considered with regards to congestion pricing. Like, admittedly, like the capital funding that's needed for the subway and for the buses, absolutely. Like, as for like any additional funding that could be involved, like, could it go to other potential transit projects? Like, yeah, we're extending the 2nd Avenue subway, but can we at least have a subway system finally connect to Staten Island? And like, that would be perfect. Have a subway system connect to Staten Island, restore the North Shore branch on the island. What else? I don't want to just stay on Staten Island with this, but also, what about the Brooklyn-Queens connector proposal? Like, admittedly, I was kind of against it at first, but now I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. Only thing is, as long as the infrastructure put in place is done just right. Or what about the potential of having like some smaller streetcars, some open streetcars, almost similar to the cable car system in San Francisco without it running on literal cables and everything. Like, what if we could have it on, let's say, Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn and Queens? Like, when, frankly, no one has any money to take the Long Island Railroad, and they're going within stops to be able to, you know, just go like a few stops up and down and everything, and a little bit past the overpass, and, you know, just whatever is needed to be able to go from point A to point B. And whatever can help relieve the give some relief to the bus operators that do work hard. Now, I go into a little bit further detail with regards to the streetcar system in my latest book, Imagination at Sea. Basically, on summer vacay, the streetcar system that is on the island and is the system. The idea is actually not new. It's an automated streetcar system, but it's not the stereotypical make it computerized and the whole system computerized cliche. It's actually a simplified system that was actually thought of back in the 60s by Walt Disney, of all people. A little bit details are further discussed in Defunctland's video on the idea of Walt's Epcot. Basically Walt's experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Walt's City of the Future. And if you see that video, kind of a little bit closer towards the end of mentioning all the proposals for Epcot. Basically there was the idea of having a village with an underground trolley that would use a system that is normally used to assist blind people to be able to go from place to place. And the idea is to have this system to detect someone in the front to either slow down or stop the trolley. Pretty basic system that could be put in place. So I have that on summer vacay, and you know, when you think about it, it's like you can install it in other places, like to basically have places like New Jersey stop whining about congestion pricing. I would argue, what if you could have it installed on JFK? Hey, on JFK between Bayonne and, you know, parts of Secaucus is have a nice little streetcar system and everything. And there's some that's like, oh, we have the light rail system. The light rail system is good, don't get me wrong, but the light rail can also use help. The buses need help. Perhaps installing an all streetcar system on West Side Avenue. Maybe that could help. Oh, and of course, I don't, basically to take a smaller base system to areas like the light rail or the buses or whatever, and it could give Via drivers a break as well. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, also installing that within Liberty State Park, because there are some employees that has been that works at Liberty State Park. Some of them have been my passengers in the past, and you know, if they could have a streetcar system or like a nice little shuttle system, but preferably an automated streetcar like I mentioned earlier, or that would be great. But if you want to know more about it, want to see some insight on it, like be sure to download my latest book, Imagination at Sea. It's perfect for the month of June, because you know, this is because summertime is normally when some of us like to go on a cruise and everything. And if you don't have the money to afford a cruise, then at least buy Imagination at Sea, and you could be on a cruise in your a cruise vacation in your mind's eye and everything. You'll be able to see which island you prefer, whether it's Slumber Party Island, Grand Key West, or Summer Vacay. Summer Vacay is my personal favorite, but you may have another. Like, it's almost like my first book. My favorite theme park in my first book is Brooklyn Park, but I have more that prefer Snackville and everything. Like, there's a friend of mine and everything. She's so cute. Like, basically, she mentioned that she prefers Snackville, but I want to know if her husband has been able to read my book as well. Her husband is a good friend of mine I've known for almost 20 years now. But basically, I'm like, I wonder what his favorite park is, and also what other people's favorite islands are. But yeah, we'll see. So next week I'm only going to be working one day, only because this coming Monday I'm going to be with some friends out of town, where we're actually heading to upstate New York for a little trip that we planned and everything. And we actually booked a bus to be able to go upstate. If I get the chance, I'll try to see if I could be able to record the trip. I'm not going to stream it. I'm not going to stream the trip and everything. That would be too much for my phone. I just want to make sure everything goes as good as possible. Just got something in my teeth for a second. And so I'm only going to be working for one day next week, which is next week, Thursday. But yeah, because Monday I'm going to be out for over 12 hours, out of my house for over 12 hours. And I will just be too exhausted to be able to come into work on Tuesday. So I'm only working next week, Wednesday. And then afterwards, I'm going on vacation. And not officially, because next week Thursday I'll have one more thing to take care of and everything, but my vacation will officially begin on Friday, and then I'll just be able to relax and I'll be able to just relax and go home, which I have been looking forward to this vacation for a while and everything. Me, I prefer staycations, but I definitely got some itineraries planned. Like, I want to go to Liberty State Park, for instance. It's been a long time since I last been to Liberty State Park, and just for a visit. I know I was there today, but just to be able to visit and see some of the stuff. I know I also plan to head to the Bronx because I've never been to a Golden Corral, and I've always wanted to have the chance to be able to go to one and everything. Like, what really convinced me is one of the Jane Wang videos that I was able to see. James Wong, he was able to he operates buses for Peoria Charter, which is a company outside of Chicago. And just recently, he was appointed as the new CEO of his company. But basically, there was one video of his where he was able to drive for a class trip on a rainy day, and basically he was able to go to a Golden Corral, and just seeing some of the stuff there got me curious. So I plan to try that out. Plan to try out a few other things and everything, and just see how it goes. So I'm gonna go home and relax. I already saw the latest episode of Star Wars Acolyte, which just made me sad. I'm not gonna give any spoilers and everything, but like, just so much of it just made me sad and everything. Props to the actors involved and everything. Like, I know there's some people that's going to just hates the Acolyte series for right now, because frankly, it's on the internet, and whatever is on the internet, you're just gonna have one person just hate everything for absolutely no reason at all. But yeah, it's like, I like it, someone else may not like it, and that's okay. Hey, but I'm done. See y'all later.